Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Indy, and I'm sure none of you were expecting this video. Unless you followed me on Instagram. Then you're really thrown for a loop, and you're sitting here like, okay, yeah, we get it, X died, but why should that include 2 videos? I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna make my videos. I'm gonna go on with my day, because I know that one day I won't be successful at YouTube and I'll be dead. Well, not dead, but dead inside from working at a office building of some sort. Anyway, enough depressing shit. On to some more depressing shit. So, welcome to Stay Single Part 5, the video that I have been neglecting to make for a very, very long time. And specifically this one, the one I'm gonna be talking about today, I've been neglecting to actually make because it just brings back memories that I don't want to bring up, but I feel like I'm in a place where I'm happy and I feel like life is great and it can only get better from here. So I might as well bring up the bad, let you guys hear about it, so I can get that weight, or what little bit weight is left, off my chest, so that you guys can know my background and why I am the way I am today. So just to give a little background, this story takes place in 7th grade when I first moved to Florida. I'm not gonna say I was the most ecstatic, but I wasn't really that sad either. I mean, I was, because I would be leaving all of my friends, family, yada yada. But home, I had moved around a lot, so there weren't really many friends I could keep in touch with, because I didn't get my first phone until my 6th grade year, and that was like towards the end, so yeah. Okay, so when I moved to Florida, I had actually changed schools once. I was gonna say twice, but I went to 2 schools. So the first school I went to is where this story takes place. So before school started, my dad had me play football, which isn't really something I want to bring up because it's like really unnecessary to the story, but it's just something I should state. Like, my dad made me play football, and I was kind of on this quote-unquote strict diet, so I ended up thinning out a lot, which is the state you somewhat see me in now, even though I'm starting to pudge up a little bit, but I'll work on that. So now, at this skinny state, I'm entering the 7th grade, filled with anxiety. Really, that's the only way I can put it. I was nervous. I didn't have anxiety back then, but I was for sure nervous. Butterflies and all. So, first day of school, you know, it's the usual routine. You go to class, your teacher forces you to socialize and tell everyone to like say their names and whatnot, so I greet myself, you know, say what I like to do, and then I sit my ass right back down. And back then I was a lot more social, so yeah. Then everyone else does the same, and then this one guy, who would later go on to become one of my good friends at that school. We're not in contact anymore, sadly, but you know how this shit goes. So he says his name, he says what he likes to do, blah blah blah. He brings us something about anime. And I'm like, hey, me and you too, brother. And from that point on, we became really good friends. Now, you know, a day or 3 pass, and another guy I become friends with, and him and the other guy become friends. No, I'm not going to give them names because they're kind of irrelevant to the story, but hey. So, it's just me and it's just a group now. This is usually how it goes for me in school. I usually build up a group of friends, and then we all just hang out. So in this one class, our first period class, we're sitting at our table talking, and then one of them I don't remember which, but one of them, he brings up the question, so who do you guys like at the school? I'm like, what the fuck? What? We just got here. I don't know anybody. He was like, so you can still like somebody? I'm like, no, I can't. I don't know anyone. And then the other guy, he says who he likes, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, that's interesting. And then my friend proceeds to ask me again, so who do you like? I'm like, I don't know, I guess the girl over there. And then I point in the corner, and there's this girl that I thought, I hadn't really thought about it at the time, but like after I started to get to know her, she would like probably go on as like the most beautiful girl I've ever dated. Okay, I don't want to get all sappy and mushy, whatever. I'm just saying she was really pretty. Moving on. So like I pointed at this girl. My friend just goes, "Oh, you should ask her out." I'm like, dude, I don't even fucking know her. He's like, okay, I understand. So like a week goes by, and my friends and I were just sitting around, doing our thing, talking to each other. And then the girl who I had pointed to, which I'm kind of forced to give her a name, so we'll name her Jackie. So Jackie's, I'm just gonna assume best friend, came up to our table and was talking to my other friend who had brought up the question of like, who did we like? And she was whispering to him something, and then she looked at me like real intense and then walked away. I'm like, yo, what was that about? It's like, nothing, and it's just giggling. I'm like, no, seriously, what was that about? Like, nothing you should worry about. Okay, so like I should probably mention that me and my group of friends and her, we had a bunch of classes together because this school is weird. So we had a lot of classes together. So the next day, or the day after the next day, Jackie's best friend comes up to me and she's like, hey, Jackie wants you to sit at our table. I'm just sitting here like, what? Huh? And then one of my friends, he goes like, yeah, she wants you to sit at her table. You totally should. And I'm like, I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. And they're just like all egging me on, and then Jackie's best friend goes and sit down. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? I'll sit down at the table. And then I do. So then it was awkward because Jackie's best friend wanted us to go out. And by the way they were talking, I could tell that Jackie had a bit of a crush on me. And her best friend was just egging it on. And we're just sitting here having this awkward conversation like, yeah, yep. Like basically just attempting to break the ice. And all we're doing is denting it. I don't even know how the hell you dent ice, but that's what was happening there. So after that day, me and Jackie had started to talk more and more. Soon we had started sitting at lunch together. And at the time everybody was using Kik. This is around the time when people stopped using it, but everyone was still using it nonetheless. So we had gave each other our Kiks, and then we started texting each other. And soon after that, I actually got her number, and we still texted and called and whatnot. And then like after 2 weeks of meeting her, which was 2 weeks after school started, me and her began to date. To this day, I don't know if I should say that it was my best relationship, but it was the one where I learned a lot, or I could probably say I've grown up the most. because this is the first time I had ever gotten broken up with, but it was the first time I had ever fallen in love with a girl, which is like, for anyone who's actually has fallen in love or has felt that actual love for someone else, they know what I felt. They know what it meant. And like they're gonna know what I'm coming from when I say these next couple of things. So we had started going out. It was great. I was the happiest I had ever been in my entire life. And things were going amazing. We would text each other every night and every day. And like every couple of days I'd get the courage to call her. But like calls were awkward because I don't like calling people. It's not even that she was my girlfriend or whatever. I could call my sister right now and it would be awkward as shit because I don't like to call people at all. But that's just me. So yeah, things were going really well. And then, you know, about a couple weeks pass and it is my birthday. Now, like, I'm sorry, I'm just really trying to remember what was going on. So school started in August and my birthday is in September. So it's starting to go about August 3rd. I'm starting to remember everything vividly now. So we started going on August 3rd. And from there on, everything was great. You know, that month passes and it's our anniversary. Don't worry, I'll go to my birthday in a second. I'm sorry. So we get to our anniversary, or a quote-unquote anniversary. I don't know if anyone else like does that for a month, but I always have. If that's weird, tell me. I'll stop. I'll just acknowledge it and not do anything for it. If that sounds like the right thing to do. So like for our quote-unquote anniversary, I forgot what we had did, but it was like the cutest thing ever. I'd gotten my wristbands. That's what happened. My wristbands. This is the origin of my wristbands. My Deadmau5 wristbands. I know you guys have probably seen in a lot of my IRL videos, but I always wear these wristbands. And here's where these come into play. So, a couple weeks prior. No, like a week prior, I think. I'd bought a pair, this red and blue pair of Deadmau5 wristbands because I'm a big Deadmau5 fan. And so like I'm like, hey, I have two, but I don't take give the other one to Jackie. I'm sure she'd like it. And me and her had similar music tastes, but not really. So I'd given her it and she'd worn it. And then, you know, our anniversary comes around. I think that's when I gave it to her. And then we were just lovey-dovey as couples are. Around my birthday, she had done the cutest thing ever that I forgot. And for fuck's sake, I'm gonna leave this in the video. Doesn't matter. All I remember was it being like super cute and I loved it. Blah blah blah. So here's where shit started going downhill. So it is October. The wretched month October. October 3rd. We had been going out for at least a bare minimum of 2 months. Either that, or I'm completely wrong. We started going out in September, and October was our 1 month. Anywho, I get some news like that would change the course of how I exist to this day. So, you know, after dinner, or before dinner at home, my dad calls me and my sister, and we go into the living room and we're talking to him. He's like, hey, good news. You guys got into a different school. And I'm like, huh? Are you serious? He's like, yeah, completely serious. And I'm just sitting here like, shit. I'm gonna have to break up with her. Because I wasn't really thinking about long distance relationships at that time. Because I didn't think those were a thing. So I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to break up with her. And keep in mind, this was the first girl I'd ever fallen in love with. So doing something like that would kill me mentally. So the next day, when my dad's driving me to school, which was a long commute, which is probably why I was happy, because the new school was a shorter distance away. When we were in the car, I asked him, like, I was trying to keep tears back. That's how serious it was. I was like, so, are you really going to a different school? Are you really going to make us move to a different school? He's like, yup. In the straightest tone I've ever heard. And that broke my heart so bad. So then I get to school and I tell Jackie about it. And obviously, you know, she's upset too, but she's trying to console me and whatnot. She's just like, just live it to the best until the last day. I'm like, I will, as long as you're there with me. Then some days pass. At least a week or two. It's the week of the 18th. And fucking Instagram. It's the week of the 18th. And I'm never gonna forget this. It was a Thursday. And little did I know, it was the last Thursday I was gonna be there. The day after that was Friday. And I would start the new school on Monday. And that Thursday, she had told me that she wanted to break up with me. And I was overwhelmed. This was at lunch too. It was like a really happy day. It started off great. You know, that morning I was talking to her. You know, we were having a great time. You know, and it was a really good day too, up until that moment. Like, really fun day. And then lunch came around. I sat down next to her, and she seemed really upset, and her friends did too. I'm like, yo, are you okay? She's like, yeah, but I have to tell you something. And don't get mad, okay? I'm like, alright. She said, I have to break up with you. And then when she said that, I got up. I had shot up from my seat real fast, and then she grabbed my arm. She's like, yo, are you okay? Where are you going? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just going to the bathroom. She's like, okay. And then I go to the bathroom and I act out this fucking anime movie scene or some shit. Like, I'm super depressed and I'm just like washing my face in the sink. Like, trying to stop tears from coming back. And then one of my good friends, he comes in there, and he was eating a banana. I think that's what happened. He walked in while eating a banana. It was the funniest shit ever. Like, it's probably the only thing that cheered me up that day, was him eating a banana in the men's bathroom. And like, the principal had walked in too, and he just walked right back out. It was so funny. So like, he's like, yo, dude, are you alright? I saw you walk out. Are you okay? Like, yeah, bro. And he had like heard everything I was saying as he was walking in. So like, when I saw him, when I left the stall, going to the sink, I saw him just sitting there eating his banana. And I was like, you heard everything, didn't you? He's like, yep. And then so did someone else. There was like someone else taking a shit in there. Which is pretty funny. He's like, yo, dude, you gonna be okay? I'm like, I'm here for you. I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. I just gotta deal with the rest of this day, and I'll be good. He's like, alright. Then he leaves with his banana in hand. So like, I sit back down, and then, you know, I'm talking to her, But then this is the moment where like the depression really starting to hit, because this was the first girl I had ever fallen in love with. And she was the first girl to ever break up with me. And you know, all of these emotions just hitting me at once. It's just a clusterfuck of, oh my god. Also, this is a girl who gave me my first kiss, so like that's also a factor. So like, I'm just in awe, ready to just put a gun to my head, and I'm just trying to keep myself composed while sitting next to her, you know, not breaking down. So then, you know, I ask her why do you feel like we need to break up? But she says some spiel about how her parents had found out or something, and her parents don't want her to date. I've heard that before, and well, not before then, but now I've heard it before. But you know, I had known that she had loved me too, like loved me the way that I loved her too. Is that it was really tough on her because she was trying to hold back tears, and I was trying to hold back tears, and her friends were trying to intervene on literally nothing because no one was like raging or anything. But like after that, I had went home, and on the car ride home, I didn't have earbuds, so I just put my phone next to my head, laid down, started crying. I was crying the hardest I had ever cried, ever at that point. And when I got home, did the same. Pulled up my laptop, you know, plugged my headphones in, put on some Deadmau5, cried myself to sleep. Didn't eat or anything. I didn't eat for like a solid 3 days, or like for the rest of the week. And like I had Skyped my friend. Like I woke up from one of my depressant apps and Skyped my friend. He was like, "Yo, dude, are you alright?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just this is just really hitting me hard." He's like, "It's alright, bro. You're gonna bounce back." I'm like, "I hope so." And so like the next day, I didn't even want to look at her. I was so mad and so confused. It's like filled with whatever the hell. It wasn't rage, but I was just confused and upset and angry that I just didn't even want to look at her. So the entire day, through every single one of my classes, I just had my head down. I refused to look up. Even when I had work to do, I just refused to look up. And then one of my periods, in my math period, at the end of that class, the bell had rung, and one of Jackie's friends walks in. And she's like, "Hey, are you Davion?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Here, Jackie wanted you to have this." And then she hands my wristband back. She hands the wristband that I gave her back. And then I had held it in my hand. I had smelled it. Then I began to cry even harder. And yes, in the middle of public at school, I began to cry my ass off. Like I was really trying my hardest to hold it back. But I just started crying throughout the day. You know, I didn't look at her. I just kept my head down. That lunch period, I actually sat with my best friend, who I had been friends with for about a month there. So shout out you, Mackenzie. I love you. I love you for being there for me all times. I never would have made it through this situation if it wasn't for you. So thank you. I love you. So like, I sat with her my lunch period. I was telling her how I didn't want to see Jackie, and how like she gave me my wristband back, and that really made me upset. You know, she was just sitting there consoling me. You know, she could have been doing anything else, but she was just there consoling me. And yes, this was the school where I met King Kenzie. So, when I upload this video, she's gonna get a couple notifications. So, yeah. After that weekend, I did nothing but stay in my room, listen to music. My friend that Skyped me, the one who really triggered all of this, but I'm not gonna point fingers or anything. It's like, hey dude, are you alright? I'm like, yeah. But, you know, that Saturday, I learned that I would start school Monday. And I'm like, yeah, I'm starting my new school Monday. He's like, oh my god, really? I'm like, yeah. And the worst part is, I never got to say goodbye to Jackie. He's like, what do you mean? All Friday, I didn't look at her. I didn't speak to her. I did nothing. I just looked away. Just like, dude, are you serious? Like, you know, she was worried about you too. I'm like, yeah, I was worried about her, but I just couldn't stand to see her. And little did I know at the time that Friday would have been my last chance to ever say goodbye to her. And like, that Monday morning, as I was leaving to go to my new school, I picked up my phone and texted her what I felt to be my final goodbye. It was like something around the lines of, I'm sorry, but just found out that I'm starting my new school today, and I'm sorry how I acted and never got to say goodbye to you. And I'm sorry that I sent it. And yeah, that I feel like was about it. There were a couple bits where she quote unquote came back in my life, where we had bits of texting. Not really. There was this one time she texted me during social studies, and like really texted me, and it was basically like an argument about how I had the chance to say goodbye to her, and I had the chance to tell her that I was going to a different school, or that I was starting Monday, and that I didn't tell her. I'm just like, yeah, it's my fault. I didn't know though. She's like, you still could have told me. I'm like, yeah, my bad. Then after that, we never spoke again until like last year, where I had installed Kick, and you know, on my phone somehow, I don't know how, but somehow I still had her number. And when I downloaded Kick, because I was doing a video or something, I don't remember, I downloaded Kick and connected it with my contacts, and there she was. A couple weeks passed when I did that, probably like a month or two actually, and I'd like grown the balls to actually text her, and well, nothing's changed. We haven't spoke since then. The conversation really wasn't about anything. Really, we just split off, became two different people who were equally depressed as shit. As far as I know now, she's in a relationship that she's happy in, but that doesn't stop you from being depressed. And you know, from that point on, from that moment she broke up with me, every relationship I'd been in since then never lasted a month, or would never go beyond a month. I think the longest there since then was like a month and a half. And well, I feel like since then a curse has been laid on me that every relationship I enter, it'll just end in disaster. And the last actual relationship I was in, well, guess you could say ended in disaster. So like, I guess the other thing I can say is that it ended in disaster. That since then I haven't been in an actual relationship. I'd had one fling, one quote unquote spring or summer fling or whatever, that lasted way longer than it should have, but I really don't regret that. That's actually what part 6 is about. But anyway, since then I haven't actually had an actual relationship, and that ended in 2016. So from the making of this video, it has been almost 2 years since I began to be scared of my own status. That's right, me, indeed, the happy-go-lucky guy you see in all the videos, is actually completely terrified of being in a relationship. And there's really nothing I can do at this point that could actually help me with that. Recently, I have told a girl that I had a crush on her, or I had feelings for her, and that ended in nothing. Really, it was relief for her and potentially another one of my best friends, because they had thought that I had liked a girl that all three of us didn't like, and that would ruin our friendships. So yeah, I'm not saying I'm completely through with relationships. All I know is that from here on until I find the right one that I feel like won't do me wrong, or I feel like I can connect with on multiple levels, I'm gonna be staying single. Don't mean to bring the title into it, but hey, just gotta keep shit real, right? So yeah, that's the story of my first heartbreak. That's the story of the first girl I loved. That's the story of the origins of my depression. I don't want to make gains of this video. I'm not getting paid anyway, so it doesn't even matter. And if this video gets like a shit ton of attraction, but I'm pretty sure it won't, I want everyone who's watching this to know that yes, I do suffer from depression, and yes, there are many people out there, hundreds of millions of people out there who do suffer from it too, and that you should reach out. I don't care what the situation is, what they're going through, how it happened. I don't care. I don't care if they seem mean, if they seem like they don't want to be bothered. Doesn't matter. Reach out. Because if you sit there and do nothing and let them be, they won't. Something bad will happen. I have had suicidal thoughts, yes, but I have had many good friends in my life. One really notable one, that's you, Kenzie, that have, in more ways than one, made me stop these thoughts and made me think about what would actually happen if I were to go through it, shit like that, and how it would affect my family and how it would affect my future, or my lack thereof, if I did go through with any of the things I was thinking of. So be a friend. You don't even have to be a friend, you just have to be friendly to everyone, even if they seem mean, even if they seem super depressed, don't want to be bothered. Be nice to everyone. reach out to someone who looks like they're in need. Reach out to people who don't even seem like they need help, because 9 times out of 10, those are the people who need the most help. So, yeah, guys. Also, 13 Reasons Why, some bullshit. Okay, thank you guys for watching. If you did like this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment, blah blah blah. I could honestly give a shit less about what you do. Just share this video. If there's one thing I actually wanted you to do with this, just share the video. Get this to as many people as you like. I don't care about the views. All I care about is that my message is getting out there, that my story is getting out there, that people know what happened to me. It's not like what happened to me is fucking tragic or anything, but I just want them to see where I'm coming from, and that I'm not just this fucking kid on the internet who pretends he's depressed, or who pretends to be sad as shit for views and money, because I'm not that kid at all. I'm just a kid who wants to spread positivity. I want to make everyone happy. And sometimes I fail, sometimes I don't. It's all a matter of perspective. So yeah, I love you guys. See you in the next video. Peace.
To die.
To me,